Hello everyone and welcome back MMA News Channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Dana White addresses UFC title rule change that would have prevented Conor McGregor achievement. The assertion that the UFC will no longer have double champions has been refuted by Dana White. His comments come after Ilia Topuria vacated the featherweight title to move up to lightweight. Former champion Alexander Volkanovski will now face Diego Lopez for the vacant belt at UFC 314 in Miami on April 12th. Lopez claimed after the fight was announced that Topuria had been forced to vacate his title if he wanted to test himself at 155 pounds. The Brazilian suggested that in the future, the UFC would prevent fighters from holding two titles at the same time. They were very clear to us that they said that they are no longer giving the chance to jump from one weight class to another, he stated in an interview with ESPN. If you want to move up, you have to vacate your title. That's what UFC has said to all champions who are planning to move up a weight class. They will no longer have the status of double champion simultaneously. However, White has now clarified the situation after revealing that it was Topuria's decision to vacate the 145-pound strap. The UFC president told reporters at the UFC Seattle post-fight press conference, "No, Topuria did that. He said, I've done everything I can do here. I'm ready to move up," and he vacated it. He said, "I shouldn't be holding up anybody's opportunities. Listen, if there's a guy that thinks he can do it and wants to defend both belts and has accomplished all these great things, I would have no problem with it." Removing simultaneous double champions would have prevented fighters from replicating Conor McGregor. After adding the lightweight belt to his featherweight title in 2016, the Irishman became the first fighter in the UFC to do so. Daniel Cormier, Amanda Nunes, and Henry Cejudo have since achieved the feat, but there is no current double champion in the promotion. In 2023, Volkanovski made two attempts to become the fifth, but Islam Makhachev, the lightweight champion, defeated him twice. Topuria is now expected to challenge the Russian in his fifth title defense. At UFC 298 in February of last year, the Georgian knocked out Volkanovski to secure his featherweight title. He followed that victory up by stopping Max Holloway at UFC 308 in October in his first and final title defense. UFC to stop fighters from achieving legendary feat Conor McGregor was first to pull off. UFC brass have informed fighters that they will no longer allow two-weight simultaneous champions to be crowned, according to Diego Lopez. The bombshell news comes in light of Ilia Topuria vacating his featherweight world title to move up to lightweight. Topuria felt like he's done all that he could in that division, and he feels like he cemented his legacy and his body cannot make the weight anymore. UFC President Dana White announced the news on social media on Thursday. So, Topuria will be moving up to 155 pounds and will be vacating the featherweight title. So the way this works is that the title will be vacant as soon as the first punch is thrown in this fight, and we'll announce Topuria's next fight once it's over. Lopez is now due to face Alexander Volkanovski in the main event of UFC 314 on April 12th for the vacant featherweight strap, while Topuria is expected to square off against lightweight king Islam Makhachev. Providing he wins, he will become a two-weight world champion, but the Georgian will not be able to follow in the footsteps of Conor McGregor and Daniel Cormier in holding two UFC belts at the same time. It seems Topuria's decision to vacate his 145 pounds title was motivated more by his body outgrowing the weight class. But according to Lopez, Topuria wasn't left with much of a choice after the UFC sent a very clear message to its fighters on champion versus champion matchups. Lopez informed Papa Legaspi that they were very clear with us. They did not say they're not giving a chance to people that are jumping from division to division. No, you must give up your title if you want to move up a division. All champions who are considering moving up a division have been informed of this. The first two-weight simultaneous champion in UFC history was McGregor. Notorious achieved the impressive feat by snatching the lightweight belt from Eddie Alvarez in 2016 via a second-round TKO, while also being in possession of the featherweight strap. Cormier was the next fighter to become a double champ when he flattened Stipe Miocic 2 years later to unify the light heavyweight and heavyweight titles. Amanda Nunes then became the first woman to pull off the legendary accomplishment in the same year, when the bantamweight queen added the featherweight belt to her collection by blasting out Chris Cyborg in a round. In 2019, Henry Cejudo became seemingly the last simultaneous UFC champion by defeating Marlon Moraes for the bantamweight belt, 1 year after overcoming long-reigning flyweight king Demetrius Johnson.